so I can see you all. There we go. All right. So yesterday was a major breakthrough. Today we're on day 3 of our Unlock Your Manifestation Magic. I'm super excited to be here. Today is a powerful class to really realize the choice that you have in your life. Realize what you get to choose, how you get to choose to feel, how you get to choose your language. It's really a class on finding your inner wisdom in yourself so that you can live an empowered life manifesting from that place. Remember, I think on Tuesday I said, how do we get to the place of stepping into that future self when you have so much layers on you? Well, we released a bit yesterday. So today you have the potential. I invite you to go back and do yesterday's class as many times as you can with the breakthrough part, the energetic part. It will be available to Tuesday evening, 11:59 Eastern, it comes down. So if you go into the Facebook group, they're all there. Go redo it. Release more, release more, release more, release more, right? There's always more to release. So give your chance to go through it again and again. But today is about rediscovering you, who you are, who you get to be, who you get to step into, realizing you have the power of choice regardless of your circumstances, regardless of, I was recently had a conversation with someone and it was about money, and he was pretty adamant like that certain groups of people didn't have it fair around money, and I said to he was talking about I don't know, a union that wasn't getting paid what they were worth, and they were wanting to have more money, and how upper business gets all the money, and I said, Dad, I get it. No, I outed him, huh? Was trying not to out my father, but oh well, Dad, you're out. If you're watching, this is the conversation, the takeaway from that conversation. And he was just saying, if it like they have a right to all of this, and we do have rights. We do have rights, and I want everybody to have the rights as a human being, right? What I was sharing with him is that they also have the right to choose a different path. Like if they're in a job and they feel that they are not being appreciated and they're not being worthy and they're not being paid what they're worth, they have a right and a choice to choose something differently. And he couldn't quite understand that concept. And I'm sharing this concept with you because wherever you are in your life, no matter where you are in your life, you have the choice to make a different choice. You have a choice to stay where you are. And making no choice is the choice to stay where you're at. It's still a choice, right? So I was explaining to my father, like, if they're not happy, they have two choices I see right off the bat, and I'm not living in their shoes, right? One is to fight for what they want, like to like be heard, be seen, be witnessed, put their voice out there, use their voice. And the other is to choose a different path, choose something differently. And when you understand your worthiness, you get that on a deep, deep, deep level. If you're still remember we went over, and we are going to go over again today, the ladder. If you're still on the lower rings of the ladder, that's a really hard concept to grasp. It's really like, what I don't understand. I'm stuck. If I want more money, but I don't know how to make more money. I don't know what to do to make more money. Or I want to get out of this relationship, but he's controlling and I can't get out of this relationship. When you are not fully stepped into your worthiness, you are stuck. Anybody feel stuck in their life? You get stuck if you don't step into your worthiness. You get stuck in a relationship. You get stuck at a money level. You get stuck at not enough time. You get stuck at a career. You get stuck at whatever it is that you're in. But when you own your worthiness, when you step into your power, which is what we're going to do today by understanding choice, You get to own yourself. You get to own who you are. And you get to make your choices. And then you realize that everything does come down to a choice. So today I put some visuals. I'm going to go back and forth. I felt like some things I want to share would be fun to have a little visual to go with it. The reasons I don't use visuals all the time is because I really like to see you guys. I like to be fully engaged, and I don't want to be this little tiny screen, little tiny thing on your screen. So, but I do want to share some slides with you today. So let me go back to sharing my screen. All right, do you guys see me in the blue dress without my notes? That's always the trick. And I have you nice and big, so I have to make you smaller so I can actually see my notes. Okay, so today is all about rediscovering you and who you are. And discovering yourself allows flow and ease to come into your life, and therefore allows the manifestation magic to come out. If we or you are not connected to your essence, it's not that you can't manifest. It's that it's hard. It's like a lot of energy. It's like hustle. It's like, I got to get this done. I got to do this. It comes from a very masculine energy. What I'm sharing with you, the magic in manifesting, the magic in that we're unlocking today is you. You are the magic to your manifestation. And knowing you and understanding your thoughts, your feelings, all of that. So the 3 pillars of transformation to unlock your manifestation magic is, one is reprogramming your energy, your thoughts. I don't need the screens for this. Reprogramming your energy, your thoughts, your emotions. It's developing a deep sense of connection with your higher self. And it's about being part of a community, being inspired and uplifted with women to be held accountable so that you're not doing things all on your own. And you can have transformations without these things that I'm sharing with you. But what I will share with you is that having lifelong transformation, having the ability to stay in that magic, you get to work on these 3 areas. You get to put yourself in the environment that's going to keep you growing, keep you engaged, keep you uplifting. You get to continuously work on your energy, your emotions, your mindset. You get to continuously refine and define what are your thoughts, what are your feelings, what are your emotions. Because as you know, there's just endless possibilities in the world. There's endless possibilities, and the way that you continue to tap into those endless possibilities is to continue to tap into your inner essence. So what is your true story? I could tell you what mine is from doing lots of work. My true story is this. You see her? That's my true story. This is who I was, a sassy, fun, silly, and sexy woman. Well, little girl here, right? That was my true story. I was a girly girl. You saw my tiara. Let me put it back on. I wore tiaras. I wish I had a picture of me in one of my tiaras. I'd have to go find one. I wore tiaras. I wore dresses. I even wore those plastic heels. If anybody's, I'm 46 years old, so if you're around my age, you remember those little the plastic dress-up shoes that had the little heels that were slip-ons? Oh my God, I think I made my mom crazy. I had to buy them all. And this jewelry, even though it's for Halloween, this was all my jewelry. I wanted it all. Like, I was like, give me all the girly stuff, the makeup, the hair done, the nails done. This was Halloween, by the way. This wasn't like an everyday outfit. Although it wasn't far from it. I mean, I didn't punk out my hair like that every day, but you know, I was fun. I danced, I laughed, I smiled. I like lit up a room with just laughter and silliness. That was my story. That is my story. That is my essence. I didn't know that for a very long time. You know why? Because people started to interpret my story. This doesn't work with my glasses today. people started to interpret my story and in a way that they didn't like, and they would make it look like it was my fault. At least that's the way I took it as a young girl, right? Why do you laugh so much? Why are you smiling so much? Why are you always positive? And my story started to get hid. I started to hide. I started to dim down so I could start to be like everybody else. You know, my uncle, when I was a young girl, probably around this age, it's about, I don't know how I was, around 2 or 3, I started to be sexually molested by my uncle. And my uncle, what's really crazy, you know how I talk about how the ego justifies things and says things to keep us small and not hurt? My uncle was 8 years older than me, so he wasn't that much older than me. So for a long time, I was just like, it's just what kids do. It's just what kids do. But at 15 and 8, there should have been a known difference, right? And then so what happened was he called me the smart, pretty girl. And he made me feel that I could not love myself. I could not be pretty. I could not be skinny. And I went from being this beautiful, fun, loving, joyful little girl to scared, timid, afraid of who I was.
Here's what?
Oops, that's me. Afraid of people. Definitely afraid of men. And so I'm here to tell you, your story, that essence, that's the attraction factor. When I live here as I do now, things just flow into my life. So today we're going to work on getting you back to who you truly are, because that's when you become a magnet. That's when you become a magical manifester. It's not where you have to figure things out and how does it all work, and no, that's all the masculine. That's all the energy of doing instead of being. And I'm sharing these girls. Let me just share. This is Isabel. She came to me sharing that she was scared to be vulnerable, scared to show her voice, scared to share who she is. Now she runs a podcast. She has her own Facebook group. She runs coaches. She talks all the time. She's incredible. Life on the Bright Side is her Facebook group. It's a really fun group if you want to go in there. She has an autistic child, so she does a lot to support autistic families. And she's writing a book. Stephanie, she went from a toxic relationship, surviving, raising 2 kids on her own, single mom, surviving, didn't know how she was going to move forward in life, but knew she had to do something, to manifesting a house across the country, from New Jersey to Texas, literally across the United States, a house, a career, a job that worked her hours around her kids' schedule, paid what she wanted, and now a beautiful, healthy relationship. Cheryl, she was hiding her gifts. She's an incredible healer, an incredible intuitive, and she was hiding. She felt like she lived 2 lives. The psychic, intuitive self, and then the insurance girl, the girl that had to show up for society. Now you can see her on TikTok sharing her life and her love. She also got certified in a healing dance modality, and she helps women heal through dance. Alexis, she was literally hiding in her house, afraid to talk to people, afraid to do anything. She was really conflicted with being a very spiritual person, an intuitive, a psychic, and she was conflicted. You know, that's her essence. But she was raised in a very strict religion, and it kind of made her feel, as was I was raised Catholic, and it just didn't allow her to express all of her. She wasn't allowed to be her, so then she was really stuck with who she was, and it caused her to be very unhappy. And then Doreen, I actually just spoke to her today. She went from, I'll say, people pleasing. She didn't even know she was worthy to say yes to her. her life was of service. She took care of her family, and she worked for social, what's it called, in the state of New Jersey when the kids are being abused. DIFUS. I don't know if that's a nationwide program, but it's a program where if families are abusing their children, she goes in and takes care of the children. Oh, she did. She's retired now. So to now being herself, being happy, being who she wants to be. And so what is your story that you're covering up? Who are you? What are you? What do you want to be? Where are you right now? What's the story of your book cover currently saying? Because that's what we want to get out of. We want to get over that story and create a new one, right? They're all in the I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I'm fantastic. Every story I just shared, right? I just titled them generically here for all of them because they are all beautiful. Look how beautiful they are. So what's the story you're covering up? What have you locked away? All these women I'm sharing with you have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars trying to find out who they are. In program therapy, she's done 30 years of therapy. She shared to me, you know what? I've learned more from you in 3 months than I have in 30 years of therapy. This one did counseling herself. She was coaching women and still was looking for, had to have support to go around. They all did different things. Crystal healing certifications, you name it. So what's the story that you've locked away? That's what we're going to uncover today. Your story gets covered up by others, by experiences, by relationships. And then if you're anything like me, you're scared to let her out. What would happen if I really, you know why you're scared or uncertain, or maybe you're not even aware that you're scared or hiding her? Is our number one human need as a human being is to be loved. And most likely some loved ones decided to tell you who you should be and not who you were. Like, be quiet. Don't talk. Be seen, not heard. Women don't have rights. Women should be in the kitchen, taking care of their family and their men. I have to tell you the story. I went camping this weekend, and I was with the Cub Scouts, which is, this was 95% men, but my husband couldn't go, so I went. And they were like, can you help out with dinner? I was like, no, I can't. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I belong in the kitchen. Right? Like, it was so apparent that that's what they want. I was like, nope, I can rally up the kids. I can do something else, but no, I'm not doing dinner. Sorry. I don't cook at home. I'm not cooking here. So it's so interesting how our stories can get covered up. And we want to take the locks off today. We want to look at what's locking up our heart. What's covering our heart from being who we are, and let's unlock it. The fastest way to healing and creating a life you love is to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your heart. And I shared Judy yesterday. Just here's a picture of her. This is the woman. She is an educated woman, had lots of success, coaching career, teacher, a veteran. She was in the Navy. She also was a nun. And she came to me depressed, had lost everything. And she has tried everything under the sun to open up her heart, to really let her essence back out. But she had so many programming, so many stories layered on, that she did so much. She did therapy, psychotherapy, EMDR, communities, books, you name it. She did it, and she could not find what she was looking for until she started here. Now she's reclaiming her voice. She started a community in her home. She lives in a community retirement home, and so she started some activities there, things she would never have done in the past. But that's who she is. She's a vibrant, fun, like, I've never seen it. She rides a bike and does scooters, kayaking. She's 70 some years old. Like, she's amazing. So many women miss the key to lifelong transformation. And let me tell you, most people like to talk about their problems, think about their problems, and think, if I just fixed my weight, if I just had more money, if I just had more time, I would be happy. In fact, I was telling someone today, she's like, I don't know what my purpose is. I'm like, Well, your purpose isn't anything outside of you. Your purpose isn't your job. It isn't your family. Because if they if they all go away, then what's your purpose? Your purpose comes from within. Your purpose is what? What is it that you want to feel and have? Freedom, she said. Happiness. I said, that's your purpose. And imagine if you showed up that way, in freedom and in possibility and in happiness, what would be the ripple effect of that? Where do you think that energy would take you? And she's like, oh, you're right. You're right. So the key is not to get stuck in the how and things outside of you. The key is to work in your subconscious, to rewire your mind and your energy. It's to have a coach and a mentor lead you. Think of elite athletes, professional athletes. I just watched the Eagles game. Yes, I'm in New Jersey, so I don't always watch the Eagles. They're Philadelphia, but I'm very close to Philly. And I don't watch, this is probably the first, I can tell you how many games I've watched in 2 years, as maybe 5, right? So this was the first game I watched all season. It was actually an incredible game. But I'm looking on the sidelines. Do you know how many coaches I saw on that sideline? Probably about 6 that are in the forefront, not including all the other coaches, like the nutritionist, the physical therapist, the massage therapist that work with them. They are not getting to be an elite professional by figuring it out on their own. They are being trained. They are being, one of the biggest things you could do is surround yourself with people and places and things where in the energy in the field that you want to be, whether that's audiobooks, whether that's a community, whether that's being in like expensive stores if you want to have expensive things, like getting comfortable in that energy so that you can live in that energy. These coaches, these athletes put themselves there. So so reprogramming your energy, your subconscious mind, having a coach and an accountability community, someone to hold you accountable that won't let you stay in complaining, that won't let you stay in your victim story. Because what's the truth is, the ego will always want to do that. It will always want to go back to what's not working. You know, we have a reptilian brain, and the reptilian brain looks for what's wrong. We were programmed to look for what's wrong. If we stay stuck in looking for what's not working and what's wrong and doubt, will you ever get to where you want to go? Yes or no? Drop it in the chat. No. Janita, I'm just seeing your other comment. Thank you for being vulnerable. I'll make sure you feel okay before we leave today's class. No, you cannot get to where you want to go if you're stuck for looking for all the problems. So if we were born, you know why the human race lives so long? Because we were born to live in survival. But we don't live. That's like just surviving. And what we're meant to do is evolve and elevate and live in a beautiful consciousness, an expansion. Some people call it God energy, universal energy, love energy, right? But our brain is wired to look for what's wrong with this, what's the problem, what's wrong with me, where, you know, how come this isn't working? And when we stay in that, we're not going to get anywhere. So we get to reprogram the way we think. And in order to do that, you really have to work on the key areas that I've just shared with you. So for those that don't know me, I'll just show this real quick. For those that don't know me, I'm Brenda Kiss, and I've helped thousands of women reduce anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, to create and manifest magical things in their life, to create massive shifts in their energy, massive shifts in their spirituality, massive shifts in their emotional awareness, so that you really can live from a place of peace, of confidence, of empowerment. And so you can see my certifications here. And there's a little bit more. I'll let you peek at them real quick. And so I've studied with some of the bests. I've studied, all these different things. If you want to ask me about them at the end, you can. But I want to really get back into the meat and potatoes. I invite you to stay to the end because I'm going to offer you a PDF that has the 3 areas of your life to master to stay in a high elevated state, so that you can be a magnet for what it is that you're manifesting. So stay to the end, and you'll get that email out tomorrow with that free gift. Okay, so let's see, where are we at? The results that you have so far in your life are not your fault. Up until now, you haven't known what I've shared with you. Some things weren't set up for success, just like the human brain was not set up for success. It was set up for what? I just told you what it was. What was it set up for? Survival. Yes, I read Catherine's lips. It was set up for survival. And so don't get stuck on things that are not the problem, like your weight. Anybody here struggle with weight? Yeah, don't get stuck on the weight. The weight isn't the issue. You know how many times I've lost weight and gained weight, and I was still miserable when I was small, and I was still miserable when I was bigger. It's not the weight. But I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on diets and exercise. Anybody spend tens or thousands of dollars on things that they do to try to fix themselves? Maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's like cosmetics. Maybe it's therapy. It's looking at this, like I was sharing yesterday, the surface level. And, we get stuck in the self-help books. We talked about that. And here's one I really want to bring up because I feel like it's so important, is that, and if you're anything like me, you get stuck in learning. You get stuck in, if I just had this certification, if I just do this, if I just had my business plan mapped out, or if I just knew how to do whatever, my life would be better, right? I was a professional student. It took me 8 years to get my 4-year degree. I love learning so much because you know why it took me 8 years? Because I never thought I was going to be good enough to teach whatever I learned, so I just kept learning. And I just kept learning. So I could have got 2 degrees in the time it took me to get 1 degree. Because I just was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be a good enough accountant. Let me try this. And I went into business. And then I was like, oh, I hate business. Let me go into exercise and health. And that's actually what I ended up graduating. I think I went to psychology for a little bit too. I did. So getting stuck in learning, if I just take this crystal class, if I just get this certification, if I just had this knowledge, and you get stuck in seeking, what if I told you it's not about needing anything else outside of you? It's about finding a person or a place to pull your information out. There was a woman I was talking to today. She came into my circle back in the summertime, and she was going to start with my program, and she decided to go with somebody else. And I said, whatever your heart is calling, that's what you do, right? I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to convince you to follow your heart, whatever that means to you. And so it was 2.5 months ago, and then she reached out to me. She's like, can I talk? I'm still not where I want to be. And I said, well, where do you want to be? And she's like, I want self-forgiveness. And I said, okay. I said, so I sent her some of my free offerings that I have around forgiveness. And then I said, aren't you with someone coaching? And she goes, yeah, but we're not making progress. And then she goes, oh, somebody else just told me I'm not emotionally ready. And I said, can you stop looking outside of you? You have someone guiding you. Use that person. Trust that your choice. Trust what you've picked. Trust the process that you already put into plan. So if you get stuck in knowledge and seeking, you are never... Transformation happens when you take the knowledge and you put it into action. This is why I'm asking you guys to do things. As you're doing these things, what are you guys noticing within yourself? drop it in the chat. As you're taking these actions that I've shared, some from yesterday and some from the day before, as you're taking the knowledge and you're putting it into practice, what are you noticing? Shifts. Yeah. What else are you noticing? And if you're not noticing, where do you get to make some changes to put into action? You're noticing change, small changes. And it's the small, I forget which, somebody responded to me. Movement, not feeling so stuck. Love it. You know, it's the small changes that lead to big results. Everybody thinks transformation is this big, aha! I'm now reformed. No, it's these small steps. And the way to make it an aha moment is celebrating these small steps that you're taking. Celebrating, like, oh my gosh, I had someone share in my group, they were celebrating that dishes came out that she thought she was going to have to wash, but out of the wash, she put them in the washing machine and the dishwasher, and they came out and they were like clean. So she celebrated that. It's the small wins. It's the small baby steps. It's celebrating the fact that you got up at 6 a.m. when you said you were going to get up at 6 a.m. There doesn't have to be anything bigger than that. And I'm not saying you have to get up at 6 a.m. I'm just saying celebrating what you commit to, right? So, and so you get to look at, where do you get to celebrate? That alone will start to propel you. Then you have this, and then all of a sudden you got to this big shift and you're like, how did I get here? And then you go, look, oh, I did this little step, this little step, this little step, this little step, and that's how I got there. You know, I'm sharing all these things with you because I've done all this. I've done the knowledge. Do you know how much money I spent in education? How many degrees I have? How many things that I didn't think that, like, oh my gosh, let me just take this. And then, you know what I did after high school, after college, after paying for certifications, educations? I became a nanny. Because I still didn't think I was worthy of teaching and bringing my education to the world. So where are you on this ladder now? Maybe you've made a shift. Let me just show you. Wait, I gotta go back because it's fun. This is a fun image. I want you to see it. This is why I don't use images all the time, because you see how I am? Okay. So where are you on the ladder? Have you gone up? Have you recognized a shift within yourself that maybe it hasn't moved you up an entire ring, but maybe it took you from here to here, or here to here, or all the way up, right? Remember, the victim is the one that stays stuck in their story, thinking they have no choice, blaming everybody and everything. The self-healer is the one that's ready, but they don't know how. They don't know what to do. They just know they got to do something different. The healer is here doing the work, sharing their gifts. They've invested in themselves. They invested in putting the tools and practices into place, and they're sharing their gifts with the world, whether that's a smile, energy healing, prayers, but it's coming from a place of wholeness. And then you have the inspired leader. The inspired leader is on a mission. She's on a mission for her, whatever that is. It could anything that her heart's truly wanting. And she's here to inspire herself and others. And then we have the goddess. Who wants to be a goddess? I mean, I always wanted to be a princess, but I like the term goddess. I'm going to go with goddess. Because we are goddesses. We have a goddess that resides within us. The goddess is confident. She's powerful. She's strong. She stands in her power with conviction. She's connected to herself and others. And she really allows herself to move through life with ease and grace. And how do you go up the ring? You have to stop going from a wisher and a hoper, a doer and a dabbler, meaning, oh, I'll take this little program over here, I'll take this little program over here, or I'll read this book, or maybe the first chapter of this book, right? I'll read this book, or I'll do this, and you dabble, right? You dabble, you find the next shiny penny and you go for it, and then the next shiny penny, or you do it yourself. So many women get stuck here. And the only difference from someone here to here, does anybody know? that I'm in, I'm ready, and I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to go figure, I'm going to just take inspired action, what my heart wants, regardless of my circumstances. You know what the difference is? Take a guess. Let me open up my chat. They decide, yep. But there's actually something that happens before deciding. They do take action, but even before the action, they are committed. They do choose. I'm going to wait for Denise. She's typing. They choose. They do choose. But there's even something before all of this. They may not know their worth, but they know that they are worthy of figuring out their worth. Love that answer. You know what it is? Courage. They all had courage to go from dabbling and doing themselves to I'm ready and all in, no matter what. The courage, I want to be clear here. Courage doesn't mean there's not fear. Courage doesn't mean it's logical. Courage doesn't mean that it's like, oh, this is an easy decision. Courage is having faith over fear. Courage is trusting in yourself. So Denise, I think you said know your worth. They have that sense that they can know, they have the potential to own their worth. They know that it's there. And they make the decision and commit, and they make the choice. Everything you all said, but you get to have that courage before that. Anybody have courage in your life where you made a decision, you didn't know how it was going to work out, but you did it? Yeah. Now you're stuck in fear over faith, not in faith over fear. Because if you had faith over fear, you wouldn't be stuck. When you had courage over, and you took action without knowing what the outcome was going to be, it always, what are some of the experiences that you've had? Drop them in the chat. My experience is this: when I truly trust myself, even when I don't know the outcome, I always lead to great lessons, expansion, more than I've ever thought was possible. So, rediscovering your story, there's 7 steps to that. And we talked about a lot of them this week. So let me share my screen so you can just see them. And if you want to jot them down, you can. There's 7 steps to rediscovering your story. The first one is the power of tuning in. We did that 2 days ago, right? And continuously. We even tuned in yesterday with the emotions. We're still tuning in. Identify and reprogram your hidden emotions. Learning when ego shows up. Learning when ego is like putting you back in the box. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others. Freedom is in forgiving. Setting healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries with yourself. Seeing the future in advance, realizing that there's possibilities outside your current life, or even bigger possibilities. And connecting with your higher self. And so we're going to go through a process today to help in 2 areas of these. I really want you to know that everything in your life comes down to a choice, whether you realize it or not. I remember the first class I've ever taken, and my first transformational program I enrolled in outside of school, right? I actually paid myself through school because I had too much guilt around letting somebody else pay for me because I didn't feel worthy of being paid for it. So I actually worked myself through school. And so I wasn't the first time that I had invested in myself, but when you invest in college, it was just like the next thing to do, right? Like that was the smart thing to do. That's what society, it's acceptable, right? Acceptable in society. So when I went to take my first transformational program, I was scared and uncomfortable. This was all about me. This wasn't about, what I was going to do to support my family. This was about me. I was uncomfortable. I was not happy with my body. I was skeptical if something was going to help me. I've never invested money outside of school. And so when I was introduced, I was like, what do I do? And I just knew in my heart that I had to do something. I was so stuck in my head. I was so stuck with where I wanted to go. I felt tremendous guilt, resentment. I was hiding in the closet eating. And so when you take that step, and when I took that step, even though it was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life, I felt I was a mom of 3 young kids. I felt selfish for taking the time for myself. But I can tell you, it took off my handcuffs, my food handcuffs. It left out the anxiety. I began to appreciate my life, and it propelled me to where I am today. And I want to share that they gave me one guarantee in that two guarantees, I think, in that program. And I was super skeptical, and I just knew I didn't want to do something that was going to create the same results. I wanted different results. I wanted to do something different. And so she shared with me that you will learn, and this is what I'm teaching you today, that everything in your life comes down to a choice, comes down to you choosing whether or not you want to move forward or whether or not you're going to stay where you're at. And I was done. So you get to decide. You get to decide. And I wanted to share with you Donna, who decided. She suffered from depression. She suffered from the needing help. She was in a toxic relationship. She was exhausted. She didn't know. She couldn't trust herself to make a decision. She was scared. She was skeptical. Now she's divorced. She's in her own home. She's changed her job 3 times and now finally found the place that she enjoys. She has healthy boundaries. She's uncovered her hidden beliefs to share her heart with the world, her true story, and it all came down to a choice. So let's work on your perspective today. Let's work on what it is and who you are and who you get to be. So what is your story? So we're going to go through a process right now. And we're going to look at, where are you telling yourself you can't do things, right? My dad used to say, he was my basketball coach. Let me stop share. My dad was my basketball coach, and we were never allowed to say can't, because can't was a choice. I didn't know that's what he was saying back then. I thought he was an annoying coach. And so he would say, anybody that says I can't, we had to take what was called a happy trail. And we had to literally jog the court with a smile on our face. This was my father. And so realize that anytime you say I can't, you get to go take a happy trail. You get to go run around your house with a smile and realize you have choice. But let's first look at the stories that are locking up your heart, the stories that are laying on your heart, the stories that are keeping you locked where you're at. So for those that are not driving, I want you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes now, just take a deep grounding breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One more deep breath together. And out. And as you allow your breath to continue to flow in and flow out, you realize that it brings you into the moment and allows you to relax now. Place your hands on your heart. And as you place your hands on your heart, you just begin to build this connection between you and your heart. And as you allow that connection to happen in this moment right now, you realize there's a lot of can'ts that you've held on to. I can't be happy. I can't move forward. I can't make a decision. I can't spend money. I can't be free. I can't release emotions. I can't feel. And as you allow the subconscious mind to bring forth your I can'ts, you do so in a way that just feels gentle and easy, knowing that you have a choice to release the I can'ts today. But first you have to recognize them. So just taking a moment, coming back, jotting down some of the I can'ts that you have. I can't put myself first. I can't stop yelling at my kids. So once you have 3 to 5 down, you can have more than that. But once you have 3 to 5 down, and just close your eyes, and I want you to just say them to yourself and notice what it feels like. What does it feel like when you say, I can't? Anybody want to drop it in the chat? Helpless. Thank you. Helpless. What else does it feel like when you say, I can't? I can't this. Flat. Depressing. Not true. Love it. Limiting. Sounds like BS. Dead. Exhausting. When we actually put limitations on ourselves, of I can't, or it's impossible, I'm not able to, we take that energy and we put ourselves in the victim. We take our power. Think of the solar plexus, right? The chakra right below your breastbone. That's your solar plexus. And when we say I can't, the solar plexus is all about expansion and empowerment. For those that have been working with the empowerment stance this week, if you haven't, go back to day 1 and check it out. But when we say I can't, we actually start to shrink ourselves down. We actually start to put ourselves back in the box, or I'm not able to, or it's impossible. We take the power away. Now I want you to do, yeah, it does reduce. So now what I would like you to do is change the word I can't. Don't rewrite all of them. Just kind of cross out I can't and put I won't. Because everything you wrote I can't to is a choice. And I want you to repeat it out loud to yourself and just say, instead of I can't, whatever, I won't. And not that that feels good still. Like I still understand that feels heavy. But I also want you to notice the difference. What's the thoughts that come into your mind when you say I won't? It feels more like BS. When we say I won't, it does. It comes down to a choice. Feels wrong. You have choice. And whatever those negative stories are, you have choice to let them go, to change them into I'm capable, I'm worthy of them. So what we're going to do, I don't feel attached to it. That's lack of responsibility, lack of being responsible for your choices. So if we're not feeling into the experience, we get to look at, are we in this circumstance, and this might be a private conversation, but if we're detached, we're disassociating from the experience. That means the ego is like, oh, we don't want to show you that you have choice. We don't want you to realize that you do have the power within you to make a new decision. So what we'll do is we'll disassociate. And the other thing we will do is we may not want to feel the feelings, so we'll discredit the experience, right? We will stay in the, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound really weird because I teach positive thinking and all of that, but there is a time when you have to allow yourself to feel into the feelings of an experience. And if you don't, that's putting the ice cream on the shitty ice cream cone. Right? So yes, I can't it is not true. It most certainly is not true. We can do anything we put our mind to. And I think on Saturday I talk about leadership and the bonus class. It's on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, you won't see it. You got to go into Facebook, kissyourstrugglesgoodbye.com. It will be on Facebook, but I talk about the 5 levels of leadership, and one of them is 100% is possible 100% of the time. So yes, I believe that. And I also am a human being and know that there are limiting thoughts that we do have as individuals. And it's allowing yourself to tap into those limited thoughts so that you can change them. Because if you are not where you want to be and you're not manifesting what you want to manifest, there's limiting thoughts. You got to get into them. Okay. So when we change the I can't to I won't, there's a very big distinction is that I can't makes you feel like a victim, that there is no choice. I won't allows you to see that there is a choice. So I won't lose weight. I won't be happy. I won't make more money. I won't focus on the positive. These are all choices. That conversation I was having with my dad, I said, there is not one person that was born with a capable bone. Do you have how many bones in the human body? I should know this. I studied health. I don't remember. Let's just say 300. I don't know if that's true. We'll just say around 300. But not one of them is called the capable bone. There's not one organ in our body called the capable organ. Nobody on this earth was born with something different than, well, I mean, we were physically could be different, right? but we're not born with anything else besides our brain and our heart and our soul. So we all have the potential. We all have the potential to do. There's not one person on this call or in the universe that doesn't have the potential to change their life around. And I had the argument with my dad. I don't have the resources. People don't have money. They don't have the resources. There are plenty of people out there in the world that had no resources and they changed their life. The number one person I can think of is Oprah Winfrey. She had nothing. She lived in an orphanage. She was abused many times over. I don't know what exactly she did, but she didn't give up on herself. I can tell you that. So let's get rid of these I can'ts, right? Let's get rid of these I can't stories. So I want you to stand up because right now we're all in the energy of I can't. So we want to shift our body. We want to stand up. Just do a couple breaths to release some of the tension. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. You're going to bring your hands up. And then exhale, bringing them down. Let out a sigh. One more, bring them up. Exhale, let down. One more. Deep breath in and out. And I always say step to the right. There's always great energy when we step to the right. So step to the right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this process. It's a really powerful process. It's an incredible process. I do this multiple times with the women in my group because every time you do this, you release and strengthen the work you start today. So you're going to hold your hands out like this. If you could put your hands in the cameras, that would be great. If you're watching on replay, I'll support you in the chat if you have any questions when we're done. Okay, so as your hands are out like this, I'm going to give you a visual look real quick before. So at one point, we're going to have our hands like this, and we're going to turn our hands to face each other, and then you're going to bring them together. And then you're going to open them up, and then you're going to bring one hand to your heart, followed by the other. Okay? You don't have to remember it. I will most certainly guide you through it. All right, awesome. So hands facing, palms facing up towards the sky or the ceiling, depending where you are. Feet planted on the floor. Take a grounding deep breath in and out. One more grounding breath in, and just remember that magic feeling, the one we spoke about early this week, or if you weren't here, a feeling that you really want to step into. Exhaling. One more deep breath together. And out. And with your eyes closed, look into your dominant hand. And if you don't have a dominant hand, just make it your right hand. And as you look into your dominant hand with your eyes closed, imagine there's a 12-inch version of you there. And this 12-inch version of you already climbed that ladder. She already got up to the goddess status. She already left all her negative thinking behind, all of her doubts, all of her I can'ts, all of her I won'ts. And she stepped into that goddess energy, into that magical feeling that we've been working on all week. And as she steps into that, and as you allow yourself to begin to see her, begin to notice her, begin to feel her in your hand, just imagine. Even if you don't know how to imagine, the subconscious mind does, and the subconscious mind would imagine this goddess energy of you, this woman filled with your magical feeling, whatever that is for you. Notice this version of you in your dominant hand. Make everything about her bigger, brighter, louder, clearer. Hear the words she says to herself. Notice how she stands, or her shoulders back, chin up, smile on her face. What does the energy, what does her body feel like? Loose and fun and flowy, strong and empowered. Just allow your imagination to flow and flood your mind, and let all of your subconscious, who already has all of the answers within you, begin to bring forth all of the qualities of the woman that is there within you, the goddess that's within you. Allow her to be seen, make her bigger, brighter, intensify her, amplify her, turn her up, allow her to grow. See and notice everything about her. That's right. That's right. Hold on to her. Just hold her there, and with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to your non-dominant hand. And in your non-dominant hand is this 3-inch version of you, is the ego part of you that's been there for trying to protect you. And she's done her job. She's done it well. There's lots of love and compassion as you go through this exercise. But there was when you made the decision to come to this course, you decided that there was something you were going to let go of. There was a shift that you were going to make. You were wanting something different in your life, and you realized that now is the time to release her. This 3-inch version of you is the I can't, it's the I won't, it's all the limited version of you. And if she's bigger than 3 inches, make her smaller now. And I want you in your mind, quietly in your mind, say whatever you want to say with her, but also give her gratitude for what she has done for you. But realize that it is time for her to let go, be released now. So go ahead and say whatever you want before you release her. And then turn your hands to face each other and allow your palms to come together, palm to palm, as you allow this healing to take place right now, allowing her to be freed, to be transmuted back into love, holding on to any qualities that still will serve you to your highest good. Yes. Whew. Beautiful. Yeah. And then opening up your hands, eyes remain closed. And with your eyes closed, just bring your awareness to your dominant hand. And in your dominant hand, if it's something positive or neutral, just nod your head. Beautiful. And in your non-dominant hand, if it's neutral or positive, nod your head. And if there's any parts of that 3-inch version of you left, just give her a little blow, like blow her a kiss. See you later. Let her go. And now bring your dominant hand to your heart, followed by your non-dominant, and let this essence of your goddess begin to reignite, reconnect to your heart, to who you are, to who you get to be, to where you get to go. And just allow her essence to reignite every cell of your being, every part of who you are. Let the energy of her flow through you as it pumps through your heart and your body, physical body, takes her essence to every little aspect of your physical body. And as that essence begins to light up every aspect of your body, just breathe it in, feel it in, expand it. Allow your essence of your goddess, of their unionship, to expand. Feel yourself stepping into that energy, into your fullest potential right here, right now. Allowing your magical feeling to just get bigger and bigger and stronger. Amplify her, turn her up. As a matter of fact, as I count to 5, by the time I get to 5, there is so much of your goddess energy flowing through you. You probably will just make a sound or a big smile or a big breath. 1, amplifying her. 2, feeling her deeply. 3, raising her up. 4, that's right. 5, take her all in as she is yours. Yes. Yes. Nice deep breath in and out. Release your arms, let her flow. And in this energy, I invite you to write down the qualities that exist within you right now through your goddess. Go ahead and take a seat in this energy, writing down the qualities that exist within you now. Whew. Incredible work. Just drop in the chat for me to see one quality that you're willing and able to share. Willing to share. I say you're able to do anything. Power, yes. Love it. What else? What's another quality? Strength, yes. Freedom. Woohoo, you guys are rocking it. I love it. You get to, this is a homework, it just came to me. You get to find pictures of yourself that represents this. That represents your power, that represents your strength, that represents freedom. And if you don't have any, you get to cut out images of magazines of people that have that love, that compassion, empowerment, easeful empowerment, the freedom. You get to go find some images to reconnect yourself with this. Relaxed and more pride in myself. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I just feel so much energy shifting in you guys. I can feel it within my body. There's so much flow. It's incredible. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You know, I had a client that came to me and I would say she came to a class like this, and actually a 3-day event that I haven't done it since then. But it was a year ago in June at Proudly Feminine. Woohoo, you're girly girl, love it. And she came to a class like this, and she came through this, had some big shifts, had some great things, and decided that she was going to do things herself out of fear of spending money, fear of making the wrong decisions, fear of what I'm about to offer you guys not working. And a year later, she saw someone that went through the program that was at the same class that she did. And she said, why did I wait so long? So she signed on board. She's been with me about 6 months now. And she went from not having a voice, scared to share her gifts, to being invited to speak at huge events. I think she just spoke for a group of women, over 200 people. She's manifested an extra couple $1,000s a month into her bank account. She is, I'll say, using Facebook as a platform to share her, she's an Indigenous woman, and she was scared to share that with society. And now she's just everywhere. She's being asked to speak in her country, to set up programs, because she's tapped into her heart. She allowed herself to go through this process. And what I'm about to share with you is an opportunity to take this work that you've done this week. And we're not done, by the way, but I want to give you an opportunity to work deeper, to move further along than you are. I always say this work is powerful. If I were to charge for this program that you're going through, I would charge like $1,000. And so you get the opportunity to continue to do that, to continue to make shifts. You know, I think I was sharing yesterday, we created a lot of new neural pathways, right? But you get to strengthen them. And one of the best ways to do that is to continuously stay in an environment that does that. And that's what Monique has done. And she's shifted her life. And I want to share with you the way that you could do that, the way that you can have that opportunity. And it's through my Fear to Freedom program. Fear to Freedom is a transformational program that supports and guides you to owning your story so that you can truly create a life that you love, that you can truly manifest the things in your life. When you come from that place of wholeness, the answers show up. The answers become apparent to you. There's no more figuring things out. They're just there. I want to share, I never messaged everybody that's been coming on live. Y'all, I sent you all a personal audio message. If you came to a live class, I sent you a live audio message if I could. If you're out of the country, I couldn't do that. So Ashley, I couldn't send you one, but I would have if I could have. But that was an inspired action. I truly wanted to know. You guys have touched a place in my heart, and I wanted to feel into you what was going on, what was shifting, right? That wasn't a have to action. That was an inspired action. And so Fear to Freedom is all about owning you. It's about developing your inner peace, increasing your intuition and your trust, building your confidence, stepping into your goddess, awakening who you truly are so that you can be where you want to be in life, to feel comfortable in your body, allowing you to be a beautiful, confident woman, goddess, queen, princess, healer, shaman, leader, whatever it is that you desire to be. Is to activate your heart. It's to activate your heart to your fullest expression of you. Imagine just being able to take the lid off and be who you are every day. You know, we have a convenience store called Wawa, and I was in Wawa. I was being silly and fun, and my son is like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm just having a good time. Why can't I just be excited for the day?" He's like, "What are you smoking, Mom?" I was like, "This is high off of life, my son." And he was just like, and it started to be contagious. So he's 15. So he started to be silly and funny in a grocery store. Like, that's pretty incredible in my eyes, right? So you get to set healthy boundaries and enhance your relationships, deepen your sense of connection and intimacy and vulnerability with yourself. It's about expanding who you are and being that woman. And I want to share, this program is for you, and I want you to put the ego and the resistance aside. Okay. I feel like we talked enough about this week, and just aside, it doesn't mean you're a yes. It doesn't mean you're a no, but you just stay open. Just stay open to hearing and let your heart be the one that guides you. Let your heart be the one that says yes or no. So whatever fear or resistance, just acknowledge it and say, okay, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and I'm going to put you over here. But this program is about stepping into pure joy. And if you've never stepped into pure joy, I want to give you this. I don't know how to explain it other than there's nothing you have to do in life except be joyful, fun, excited. It's an incredible place to live. You get to, this is for you, if you're ready to stop hiding behind other people's problems or your own problems. When I say other people's problems, it doesn't mean we don't have compassion for others. But what it does mean is that you get to take care of yourself to take care of others. I'll give you an example. I talked to one of my clients, Doreen. She was one of the girls on the pictures. And her mom is 92. She's in the hospital. She has pneumonia. She's having trouble breathing. And she's like, I got to go up there, but I'm exhausted. And Doreen, if she overdoes it, her Epstein-Barr flares up. She goes, so before I go up, I'm going to go outside and be in the sun and sit for a half hour to an hour and take care of me. She would have never done that in the past because she would have made everybody else's problems more important than her. That's what I mean. We stop hiding behind other people's problems and we allow yourself to be in touch with you. If you're ready to heal your past, if your past is still living in your body, it is still dictating what you are accomplishing in your life. It's still dictating what you're attracting into your life. So I was molested as a child. I was date raped twice in my 20s, and again in my late teens, and again in my 20s. You know why? Because I didn't process those beliefs and those traumas. My past was still living. If you're ready to let go of peoples and situations that hurt you and be free, to feel confident and empowered, to manifest a reality that you truly desire, to feel comfortable in your body no matter what you're doing, no matter your weight, your job, your career, your sexuality, to move forward in your life. If you're ready to invest time and money in yourself, I'll just say have the courage. You might not feel like you're ready, but have the courage. If you're done feeling alone and want to be part of a supportive community, or if you want to heal your relationships with others, being involved in a supportive community is really powerful to do that. So the next screen I'm about to show you is going to go around numbers. And I share this because when people start seeing numbers, your energy starts to go like this, right? Who's already feeling that, like the energy starting to contract, right? So I'm going to share that, and just know if you continue to make decisions inside the box, guess what you're going to get? More of what's inside the box. So stay open. Allow yourself to stay outside the box. Allow yourself to stay in your goddess energy. What decisions and what choices would that woman make? Because that's where you get to go. So I have an incredible bonus that I'm going to share with you. And I don't know how long I'm going to keep this bonus as a bonus. But so as we go through this, Fear to Freedom it's not 13 weeks. It's actually 6 months. So that's more than 13 weeks. It's weekly. It's a 6-month program that you know why? This is the wrong slide. Hold on. That's the wrong slide. I don't want to show you the wrong information. See, life doesn't have to be perfect. It helps if I have the right information though for you. Why can't I find it? It is a 6-month program, not 13 weeks. Here it is. Almost there, girls. Oh. There we go. Which one are you seeing? What are you seeing? Anything? Just me, right? Okay. I got you. Now we're back. Yes. So it is a 6-month program. I was like, wait a second, that's not true. So it's a 6-month program with live transformational calls. This is where we massively up level your energy. Think of what we did here on steroids. We continue to massively up level your energy, your healing, your inner knowing, your spirituality, your emotional awareness, your I'll say your embodiment intelligence, so that you can have massive change in your life. And so we also do this through weekly growth work. This is to stimulate your thought process, to stimulate the subconscious to start opening up, so that when we come together, these are led 90% of the times by me. I do bring in some guests that I feel are super important depending on what we're going on, but 90% of the time they're led by me. And this is all led by me. The weekly material comes from me and the content that I created for you. And this is all about like digging in to open up, to unlocking the heart. We have resources, tons of resources to reprogram your mind that are on demand, meaning you could share something that's going on and be like, this is the process you get to go work through this, and you have it on demand so that you can continuously have support. We have a sisterhood of support where we come together in a group chat, so you have access to the women in the program daily, as well as myself. And I do have 2 coaches that support us, so that if there is a challenge that you're going through, we're there to support you, or we're there to encourage you or inspire you. I don't know any other program that gives you daily support, so that if you are, it's just amazing. And then what happens is as a sister, you get to step up and be supported and supporting, right? We have 2 live healings and meditations a month. This is if you don't know what a healing is, it's an energetic healing where we integrate the work that we've done, which the VIPs will experience some of that on Sunday. If you want to come, you can still come. It's only $27, but you can still come to it if you want. You just go to the registration page and register. But so we do 2 of them a month to integrate the work. These are kind of like bonuses. They're not necessary, but so many women that I talk to want to learn how to increase their psychic ability, their intuition, their connection, and both of these do that. So Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 certifications are beautiful healing. You can use the certifications to work on others as far as energetically, or you could use them just for yourself, whatever you want, but they're just super powerful tools to open up. I'll say that's where I started in my healing, was working with Reiki energy to start to tap into my own potential. This bonus is something that I won't do forever. It's just something that I feel called to offer right now. My in-person retreats are absolutely incredible. They are 3 days. We meet Friday afternoon and we leave Sunday afternoon. And it is massive, massive inner work. And then we follow that with 3 months of bringing our vision into fruition. So we dig into really reclaiming your power, who you are, solidifying your identity. It's like all the stuff we do in the course, just amplified. So the total value for all of this is just over $23,000. But I want you to know that for today only, this is the price. It's only $44,997. And before we go anywhere, I just want you to know that never a decision is easy. And I want to share with you that there was a woman named Dawn. She came to me in the pandemic, and she came to me so lost. She had her career. She was a hairdresser. She had a family, but her emotions were all over the place. She didn't know who she was. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She was unhappy in her work. She was concerned about, she had a lot of trauma from the past that she was still bringing into her current relationship. She was overweight in her eyes. They're her words, not my words. She was overweight and just miserable. And when she came to me in the pandemic, the beginning, March of 2020, anybody in the state of New Jersey, the hair industry stayed closed until almost a whole year later. So she had no source of income. She didn't know what was going to happen. There was so much uncertainty in the world. Yes. And she decided to take and had the courage because she knew she wanted something different. She wanted to be different with her children. She wanted to live differently. She was done being on an emotional roller coaster. And she said yes to herself. Now she's one of the happiest women I know. She's released probably about 50 pounds. She runs her own salon on her own time, takes 3 to 4 vacations a year, creates income how magically, sees the clients that she wants to see, and literally is the living her best life yet. And she made this decision not knowing anything, not knowing when the next source of her income, because it was before the what were they called, the stimulus checks, right? It happened in March. She said yes in March, right? So she didn't know she was going to get stimulus checks. She didn't know any of that. But what did she have? She had courage. It's the only difference in someone has the someone that says yes to themselves and someone that says no. Is the courage to have a leap of faith in themselves. And I'm going to say this with love because I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I hurt for years. I've wanted for so much in my life. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to have shoes. I wanted to have fancy cars, all of this. I lived in the world of wanting and believing and still couldn't figure out my life. I say, if not now, when? If you were looking to make a change in your life, I can tell you countless of stories of women that I've worked with. Just think of what you've already experienced in these last few days together. Imagine continuing this work for the next 6 months, what your life would look like, feel like, be like. There's a site you go to, enroll.brendakiss.com. Let me drop it in the chat for you. Enroll.brendakiss.com. You go there, you're going to see the details that I talked about and the ability to take a call. The reason that I do this only by call only and not have a link to buy is because I really want to make sure you're right and ready for what we do. Because we do commit with our heart. We do hold you accountable. We do want nothing but the best for you. So we want success. So we want to work with women that are truly ready. So enroll.brendakiss.com. I do have a payment plan offer. So if money is a challenge, which 90% of the women that I talk to, money is always what holds people back. Just book your call. Let me help you. You're going to book it with me. And those that book today, if you book your call today and you decide to move forward, I'm actually going to give you another added bonus of 3 private sessions with myself. I offered that to 2 other people this week. Just feel like there's sometimes you need some little boosts to get you over the hump. But I encourage you, and I know, and I just want to say this on the call, and I'm going to speak out, and I didn't ask permission, but Sherry just started. This is her first week here. Linda Mouillet's been with us, but has gone through some challenging times health-wise. But women continuously grow and change and continuously invest in themselves to make their life better. So besides the money, if you put the money aside, if something inside of you is calling you forth, listen. That's the heart. That's the goddess. If it's not, that's okay. I'm totally okay with that. But I want you to trust yourself and not let fear make your decision. Not let fear decide whether you go to enroll.brendakiss.com or not. We can always talk. If you're on the fence and have more questions, it's not a high pressure call. I think Ashley and I have done a call. It's a beautiful conversation, isn't it, Ashley? It's just very, where are you? How can I support you? And is this the right program for you? Sherry, is this right? It wasn't a high pressure. It's just a conversation. So if I resonate with you, if this feels right to you, have the conversation. I just invite you. Tomorrow, we're back here at 4:30 talking about self-talk. And self-talk is not just what we speak out loud or in our mind. And you'll learn tomorrow how it's also the energy that we talk with, the embodiment that we talk with, and the posture, our body language. So I can't wait to have you back. Be one of the first people that do book your call. You have, whether you say yes or no, you have the potential of earning 3 extra. That's about $1,000 bonus, 3 private sessions with me. Something I don't do often. I don't see private clients. It's not something I keep in my practice. So I love all of you, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I can't wait to see you book your call, and have a fabulous night. VIPs, stay on.